Welcome back to another video. It is Tuesday evening, it's just gone 5. I was going to film a day in the life today, but I'm not gonna lie, I've been like a walking zombie literally all day, and it wasn't until about 1 o'clock this afternoon that I realized I was gonna do that. Ended up getting up twice in the night with our older dog. I say older, he's not even 2, with Zuko. Puppy Azula slept 8 hours straight last night, which, had Zuko not woken us up twice in the night, would have been a fantastic night of sleep that I really needed. But unfortunately, basically he was sick in the night, but he woke us up twice, which is, he's fine. But just kind of broke my sleep up. And then it was like, the second time was like 5 o'clock this morning. And then I literally started to doze off back to sleep. And then I think it was like 6:15. She then woke up. So very tired today, but it's all fine. I feel good other than that, to be fair. And I still had enough sleep to function. Like, I don't feel terrible. And I've just had a really nice, like wholesome, like good day in terms of like work and everything as well. So it's all good. It's all good. I've now got my secondary bench. We're going into the final week of this 3-week block, which 3-week blocks just like time just flies so quickly when you think of it in terms of training. Like, I don't quite understand how I'm already now on week 3 of this block. But I've got 3 current bench, I've got ascending sets, I've got a triple into a double into a single, and then I've got last and press set of 6 at 92.5 and then 2x6 at 82.5, and then just some upper accessories. This session literally takes me like 40 minutes roughly when I kind of just get in and crack on. So just gonna kind of get in, get it done, and then I've got a long dog walk to go on. I've got pasta bake in the oven first that I need to eat before I go. I'm just gonna have dinner, walk the dog. I'm at like 7,500 steps right now. So yesterday I managed to get above 13,000, setting myself the goal today of 13,000 as well. I will be hitting 12 to 15,000 steps on average every day this week. I'll allow myself like 1 day of lower, but I will be hitting that goal more this week, especially weekdays, because I'm in more of a routine. I have my walking pad at my desk. There's no excuse not to. I actually didn't even use my walking pad yesterday to hit that step goal either. Now the weather's dropped here, I actually can get in like longer dog walks multiple times a day. So that is obviously gonna help with my steps as well. So feeling good with that. I don't think there's any major talking points for this video either. Like, things are good. This is, so in my latest video that we released at the time of filming this was where I first mentioned considering doing higher frequency training. And I definitely want to do more of film more of a conversation around how that type of training works. But I think it makes sense to wait until I potentially do it to really deep dive into how it works. Because I've had a lot of people give me, like my friends that are also coaches, give me opinions on it. But then it quickly becomes clear they don't actually understand that style of training, and they think that when you say high frequency SBD, it essentially means high effort, high frequency SBD, like high RPEs, high intensity, high volume. And like, I had a couple of people say to me, oh, but you're not going to be able to really, like, you're going to have to be really careful how you spread the intensity throughout the week, because if you're doing 4 days of squatting a week, for example, you're not going to be able to push 4 days. That you're going to have to really pull back, and you're probably not going to get as much intensity. And I'm like, yeah, this is literally kind of, like, there is logic behind it. And I think rather than me kind of sitting and talking about it now, it would make sense to wait until I program it for myself, if that is what I decide to do, which I still think I probably will. It's just deciding how I would like to split my days up. And like I said, I'm not going to go straight to like a 6-day split or like a 6-day SBD split. I will probably go up to 5 to 6 days training a week. What am I doing? I'm currently doing 5 to 6 days training a week. But it will be splitting everything I'm currently doing up a little bit better as well. So we will see. But yeah, that is something I'm still very excited by. Yeah, no other real updates though. Body weight, I would say, is trending back down. However, there is a little next to Tesco's where I do my food shop, and my boyfriend has recently become obsessed with Little Bakery. And I don't usually look in the bakery in shops, because if I do, I know I'm going to want to buy everything. But basically, we've started buying our meat from Lidl because it's just so much cheaper, and then buying everything else from Tesco, and they're right next to each other. And we went into Lidl first yesterday, and the bakery was just inside the door, and we may have raided the bakery. And then I got myself a pizza for dinner, which I actually ended up regretting because I ate like a quarter of it and felt really full. But I definitely went over my calories yesterday. I think I ended up at like 2,700, 2,800. So not massively over by any means. But my fats and my carbs were high. So weight would have fluctuated today. I think I was 85.7 yesterday morning, which is still like a kilo over where I want to be, because my weight did fall off a couple of weeks ago. But fluctuations are normal, they happen. And like I said to my nutrition coach in my check-in, like, realistically, we are where we need to be. Like, I can make weight from here, And this is a heavier period. Like, this is me sitting heavier. This is a fluctuation. So get me, like, another couple of weeks kind of just ticking the boxes like normal. My weight will obviously come back down, but also I'm comfortable sitting in the 85s. Like, if I can maintain the 85s long term, that's perfect for me. Like, ideally less, of course, but realistically, previous kind of periods where I wasn't competing / in between comps, I was sitting at 87 at a light period, and like usually 88, 89 kilos. So we're still massively down. I can definitely notice it in my day-to-day life as well. So I'm not complaining. It's just, I would like to be back in the 84s. I think that was just a really nice like thing for me to see on the scale. It made me feel pretty good, and like, I'm so close to the class. Like, I wake up heavier than this on comp morning, and that was a really good feeling to see that on the scale. It was just in the middle of like an off season. But I think the biggest thing for that is just going to be getting my movement back up and not raiding the little bakery too often, although it was really good. So I can't make any promises on that front. But one thing I spoke to my coach about was the fact that I was being quite harsh on myself for not getting my steps in last week. I basically said to her, which I said in a previous video, I was using the heat as an excuse not to get my steps in, when actually I could just go for a walk in the heat. Like, it's not going to kill me. No, I can't take the dog because it's too hot for the dog, but why can't I go? Or use the walking pad for longer. Like, there's options. But I kept using the heat as an excuse. But she did point out to me, like, you know, my training didn't really suffer in the heat, which a lot of people's had. Like, a lot of my clients did, a lot of her clients did. But had I forced myself to have that higher energy output, I might have then started to see that creep into my training more, because things do just require a lot more energy when it is that hot. And like, I was exhausted last week, so I'll give myself some grace, but I am going to do better this week, and the temperature has dropped, so it should be pretty easy to do. And yeah, anyway, I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to bench.
Fatal attraction, lovers in action, yeah. One of us is gonna get hurt. You got your madness and I'm good at bad habits. Oh, one of us is gonna get hurt. I'm no one to trust, ask anyone and you will see it. I love for the thrill. I'm dead serious, it's you or me, you best believe it. This is not a drill. This is fatal attraction. These are times of crowds of passion. One of us gonna get hurt. Took a shot for the magic, but we're crashing into tragic. One of us gonna get hurt. How I love to see you cry. How I love to shut you out. Baby, I'm the gift that's never given. Whoa.
So, session complete. Firstly, if you can hear the oven humming in the background, no, you can't, ignore it. Secondly, excuse any mess that you see behind me. I've just popped in. So I've just finished my session, literally just now finished my accessories. Really happy with the session. The bench actually felt really good. I would say it feels a little bit uncomfortable on the touch point on my chest, but obviously that's what the 3 count pauses are for. They're kind of teaching me to hold it and feel a bit more stable with it. But warm-ups felt terrible. And then first working set at 100 actually felt really crisp and really good. I haven't watched them all back. I wouldn't be surprised if they're not quite a 3 count, but the main thing is a long stable pause, so that's kind of what I actually care about. One thing I didn't mention at the start of the video is on my full body accessory day on Sunday. So with training, over the last few months, if you watch my videos, you probably know I've been struggling. Like, I've been getting everything done and I've been really trying to work hard and push myself, and I've been ticking as many boxes as I possibly can. But I've just not quite felt like me, essentially, like in a lot of ways. Like, I love lifting heavy, I love training, I love pushing myself. But there's, you know, it's been a while since I've felt like good in my strength, I guess, and I really just lost myself in my training and in my sessions. But for Sunday's full body accessory day, bearing in mind, I ended up training at like 6:30 p.m, which was a lot later than I planned. I went in and honestly, I had the most fun I've had in the gym in such a long time. I pushed myself, I went heavier on things than I have in ages. I think I matched my PB on the leg press with what, like 4 weeks of having it back in, and actually last week I couldn't get on it, so I did hack squat instead. But it's only been a few weeks of having it back in, and I did pace myself slowly just to make sure my hamstring and everything could deal with the extra kind of pressure and obviously load and everything and adding it back in. But I matched my PB on there, and it was pretty comfortable. So next week I'm really looking forward to going back and pushing myself further and going even heavier. I managed to add load to my hamstring curls. I mean, I say load, it was 27.5 on my laying hamstring curls, but I haven't even been able to do 20 without some kind of discomfort flaring up. And I will say, since that session, the next day there was a little bit of tenderness, but by getting my steps in yesterday, when I was walking a dog midday today on my second walk of the day, I realised I had no pain, like literally no pain. So I think realistically, as long as I make sure I don't sit down too much each day and I get my steps in, I think my hamstring will be completely clear within the next week or two, because it did actually get to a point of being pretty much pain-free until I had my week of annual leave where I just sat on the sofa a lot. And although I still got a decent amount of steps in, when I wasn't walking the dog, I was sat on the sofa. So I think as long as I keep on top of movement, my hamstring should be fine. My pec as well. So on Sunday, the only negative from that session was that I couldn't do dumbbell chest press. I tried using the 20s, which is where I usually start for warming up. And I literally was like 3 reps in. I was like, yeah, no, there's so much discomfort here. There's no point in me going up, because usually I do like a set with the 20s. So I'm already halfway through my session, so my body is warm. It's just like priming myself. And I literally jump from 20s to 30s usually, and then to whatever I'm using my working weight. And I literally was like, it's not even sensible to go to 30s for a couple of sets. I think the week before I did 2 sets with 30s, which again is pretty light for me. Usually I can get like between 36 and 40 for my sets of 6 to 8. But this week it just didn't make any sense to. So I left it at 20s. I did 1 set of like 4 reps attempting to warm up, and I was like, yeah, this isn't sensible. So essentially I've taken dumbbell chest press out temporarily. And actually today though, when I was benching, zero pain in my pec, which actually for my Larsen press, I noticed I was flaring a little bit more again. So in my comp bench, I tend to tuck, but then my Larsen press, I tend to flare more. Realistically, I should be aiming for the exact same thing on both, but we're here, we're making progress. I don't care. It's still moving well. But actually today I managed to flare more on my Larsen without even really thinking about it. And usually on that final set, I start to feel it, and I literally felt nothing. So I think we're on to a winner there as well. And yeah, just overall, again, tonight I didn't really want to train because my energy was pretty low, but as soon as I got into the session, I was in the session and I was having fun and I was enjoying it. So I think we're at a turning point, hopefully. Don't want to jinx it, but we're at a bit of a turning point with my training, which feels really good. I have got SPD tomorrow, which I think squats seem to be the thing I'm struggling with most at the moment, but I'm just taking the pressure off with them. I think I know what my squat needs, and I'm not going to add it in mid-block. So I'm just going to approach this block, this final week, with an open mind, do what I can, make things move as best as I can, and go from there. But yeah, someone also, to be fair, not even one, but a few people have mentioned to me. So someone on the comments of my previous video, or my video that came out today, so it'll be a week ago's video, about me potentially switching to higher frequency, but also a few people that I've spoken to about my training that I know also watch my videos, mentioned about how I train very comp specific. And I mean, in terms of gripping for bench press, yes, that is definitely true, but I have a lot of variation through my accessories that I don't film. And I've never thought of my training as being particularly specific. Like, I do keep comp squatting year round. And usually 2 days a week, I keep comp squatting year round. But I mean, at the moment on my secondary day, it's just 1 set of comp squat and then it's high bar. I comp bench 4 days a week, but one of those is tempo. One of those, like today, is mostly Larsen press. There is some variety in there, but like, basically what I wanted to say was, I don't think of my training as being particularly specific, simply because I get so much movement variability in from my accessories that I don't show you guys, and it gets moving in different ways. And I think that's a big part of how I stay so healthy. And I do think too much specificity does cause people to have injuries and niggles, but I also think we have to take into account my training age. So I've been training 12 years technically now. I would say 11 years of like actual pushing myself, bodybuilder-esque kind of style of training, including obviously the powerlifting in there as well. But I've built up a really good foundation that I can get away with more specificity than what a lot of people probably can. And obviously I don't have the best genetics when it comes to being super strong. Like, not that I'm weak, but if I had the best genetics in the world, I'd be a world champion by now. But I have very good genetics in terms of recovery and building muscle mass and, not getting overly injured, right? Like, I have these niggles and stuff that flare up and that appear, but realistically, other than my back, which I know how to cope with now, and I think a lot of that was just me not being overly sensible when I was younger, I don't really have main injuries. Like, yes, my hamstring got bad, but I could still train, and it was, again, a bit of neglect on my end. But yeah, I think when it comes to my training, I want to basically just say what you see in these videos is not the full picture at all. Like, yes, this is my main lifts, but I do so much other work that I don't film. And I thought that was just worth mentioning. Anyway, there's a lot of talking in this video, so I'm going to wrap this up here. Thank you very much if you made it to the end. I really appreciate it. Please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're not already. And I'll see you in a couple of days for the next one.